Hi, my name is Marina, and I'm gonna go ahead and just get right into it today. I have gouache here, and the plan is to paint a raven. I've done a crow, and that went pretty well, but a raven is a bit bigger. Um, I knew that they were different birds, but I didn't realize just how much they look alike until I started this and I looked them both up. Side by side, a raven is huge. Um, Compared. Anyways, so we're just gonna get right into it and I hope you like it. It's mainly gonna be a speed paint with just me talking about the process.
So, because of the way that I had this recording with the natural sunlight being my natural enemy, I kind of messed up the video quality right in the beginning. So, I went ahead and I skipped some, and also, this doesn't look great right now, but it's gonna get real better real soon, I promise. Anyways, I went ahead and I'm starting with the feathers, and I like to go light, then dark, and just keep doing that and like layer them on top of each other. I really like gouache for this reason. They're so blendable, and honestly, they're just really easy to work with, and I love that. Anyways, so about 300 times, because gouache is so blendable, it kept blending a little too much, and I could have used more discretion when I was putting it on. Like if I would have just chilled out a little bit. But that's okay. I was kind of learning where I wanted my shadows to go and where I want to put the highlights. I was looking at this reference photo, and the lighter feathers above his eye really kind of made it pop. So I was like, that is such a good idea, and that is what I did. I am going to draw the eye because it helps me get through to the end, because I'm constantly worried that it's not going to look good, and I can't trust the process until I see one thing that looks good. So it is what it is. And then they had like this like little ring around the eye of lighter feathers. So yeah, I mean, this is a great study so far. I'm learning a lot about what I can do to make certain things pop. Like I'm gonna keep that light feather under eye thing for like a lot of animals. Like that is locked in forever now. I apologize for my cat's big ol' head being in the way. I didn't even realize how much space he was taking until I watched this back. That being said, he was oh so cute, and he just watched, and he's like my little fan. Anyways, once I did the eye, it started to get much more clear for me, and the eye is the only thing that I did with black. Everything else is done in different variations of blues. Like even the little parts that look white, it's like a sky blue, just to keep the reflection going. I really made this whole piece more of a monochrome type look. I am just gonna do the background, that blue that you see on the left, except it's gonna be a bit nicer. I think that doing the background similar to what you do the piece for is perfect when you're using gouache, because if you do mess up, it's water activated and it won't like bleed in. Another reason why black just would not have been the move, because if that bled into the background, I would have had to start over easily. Anyways, yeah, now we're just going through and we are adding like a deeper blue to all the areas where we want to create a very deep shadow. Throughout this painting, I will do this like 7 more times. But I swear each layer is like really important. Like it really adds a lot of depth each time. So yeah, I don't know if you have ever seen a raven versus a crow. I'm gonna add a picture of them standing side by side, and it's kind of crazy how much they look like little twins. Like it just looks like a baby. next to its mother. I didn't do much research. They're probably in the same family. But apparently a lot of people thought they were the same. And I think for like half my life, I also thought they were the same. Throughout this whole piece, I found that having one small, tiny detailing brush and then one kind of long flat tip brush really helped me, because the flat tip was good for like that feathering texture, and of course the small details when I need to really get in there and define a line. But even with the flat tip brush, like I'm still able to line pretty well, and I don't know, it was like perfect for feathering texture. I also vary it on different types of wetness versus dryness. I use a little towel and then I would dry out the brush tip as much as I can, almost to make like a long feathered type brush without having to literally use a feather brush, because the feather brush for me is a bit too big. So yeah, this is how I have it, and it's kind of hard to get my camera to focus. At this point, my cat is trying to literally take the brush out of my hand. But yeah, that flat tip really helps for the feathered texture. Anyways, because a majority of the crow is done, I kind of have to layer more on top, but I don't want it to blend too much. So I got out my little handy dandy fan and dried it up, and now we're doing like little water reflections, and we are going in and defining more depth. I went a little bit too bright with that part right there, so start again, and this time we will get it right. So as of this point, I am gonna get started on my background, and this is when my cat was really just being a menace, really pissing me off. So pretty soon here, he's gonna get the boot and we can continue. I wanted the background to be really simple so that the piece really focuses in on my raven over there. I did have to back out for this shot. I know you see that Dasani water bottle. Don't even worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. It was free. Anyways, I wanted the raven to be our focal piece, so I'm making the background really simple, and the very bottom is where we're gonna have our water. So I'm starting with the water, and I will blend in with the sky later. And there I go again, layering more. I could not stop myself. I feel like it did get better with each layer now that I'm looking at it. It felt like I should have left it alone while I was doing it. I was quite annoyed with myself. We're gonna get a little bit closer here so we can see. I think he is so cute. I didn't even expect to love it as much as I do, mainly because it was my first one, second one if you include the crow. So I really feel like, I don't know, we have a connection, you know what I mean? And then this layering is the fun layering, because this is just adding texture. I made the brush really dry, and then I got the paint and I just the very tip, I put the paint in. So it kind of was like a dry brush apply, and it really helped the texture. The other way was good for like laying down the colors, but this one really helped add texture so it doesn't look too blended. And then we're going in and highlighting our spots that we want pretty bright. I want to really bring out certain areas and define it as well as I can. So I also wanted to do the beak. I already tried it before, but I couldn't get it like dry enough. So I decided to kind of put it off until the end so that I can really go on top of it as a dry layer. It will still blend, but it won't blend as much. Like, as you can see, I can get that texture to kind of stick around a little bit. I was kind of nervous to start the water, so I was really focused on the raven way more. But usually I paint a little bit more all over the place than this. Like, I will do the left side, the right side, the middle part, kind of just whatever I'm feeling. As I go, I can visualize in my head what I need to do. And so it really just becomes like a set of steps, like add highlight here, add shadow here. I do know that every single time I do any type of artwork, I learn every single time. There has not been a time that I have not figured something out, even if it's something that I've drawn a bunch of times. I just feel like there's so much to art and to each different medium. So gouache has been fun lately, though. And while I do the feathers on that, I kind of want to just go over who I am and what I'm doing with the YouTube channel. I recently, I would say for a year and a half, I started taking art really seriously. I did decide like 3 years ago that I wanted to learn how to be an artist, but I didn't really take it seriously. And now I am. And so I spent an entire year just learning, not really making any pieces, just learning the fundamentals and all that good stuff. And now I feel like I'm at a spot where I can do really well. So I hope that people follow me on my journey, but if not, I appreciate you just sticking around. I feel like I have so many ideas, and I'm excited to really get it all together. Like, this piece right here came out really well, and I ended up making a print of it, and I eventually will start selling it, and I hope people like it. Right about here, I'm starting with the drop coming out of the mouth. And the thing about water drops is it's pretty easy. You want to make it transparent to the background. You want to add highlight, add shadow. And since it's so small, easy peasy. I say easy peasy, but if you could see the layer of gouache that I have, because I just kept messing with it until it looked exactly how I wanted. Now that it's night, my piece looks way better in the camera. So from now on, I will be shutting all my blinds and I will be boycotting the sun. So I hope you guys can join me on that. I decided that the little tuft above the eye just wasn't tough enough, you know what I mean? So I added some of that, I added some details, and then we're back at it again with this freaking water droplet. Again, I had to skip a little bit because my camera quality kind of just dropped for no reason. I'm gonna have to get a camera. Anyways, so because it is a little droplet, we're just doing reflections in the water, and the way to do that is just put some highlights and put some shading. That's really it. Dark blue, light blue, over and over again until it looks perfect. I wanted the, I guess you could say, like, horizon line. I wanted it to be practically white, like so light it looks white. And I think I accomplished that. I will have to redo it like 400 times because they kind of blend in together. But I'll focus more on that when I get to the end. I did overblend it and had to re-add some blues, but that's okay because I wanted the water closest to our raven to be darker, and then as you go out it gets lighter and lighter. So this side of it is going to be almost like a baby blue, while the other will be like a bright blue. I'm really adding the layers here onto the water droplet, but I wanted it to be really bold. So when you look at it, you kind of see it immediately. While I was intimidated by doing this water droplet, it was so satisfying to do. I really had to test out some things, and you're gonna see me change my mind quite a few times. I wanted it like circular, but also straight, if that makes sense, so it doesn't look too cartoony. And I also didn't want it to look too realistic. So that being said, I really like how this came out. I don't feel as intimidated now. I mean, as of this point, I might just start drawing more water, because while I was nervous and it was kind of difficult, I feel really good now that it's done. Like, I feel like anytime ask me what kind of art I make, I want to show them this and be like, this, I created this, I did this. When my roommate got home, I was like, look what I did. So yeah, I also, in order to get like a very smooth blend, I like have to use my fingers. Other people use sponges and stuff like that, and if that works for you, that's cool. It has never worked for me. I have tried. And now we're just doing our background, which is very satisfying. Each layer that I do, it's gonna become just a little bit darker, and I kind of kept doing it until it looked how I wanted. I didn't want it to literally blend in with the water. I wanted it to be clearly defined on where the sky is and where the water is, while also looking like the sky is kind of reflected into the water. So that is the challenge, and I'm just gonna keep adding and adding until I get it to where it needs to be. I also kind of focused a little bit too much on blending it right here instead of just getting it to the color that I needed. As I build up, I'm gonna be adding more and more depth each layer, and you won't be able to see the strokes as much, or like the brush lines. So if I could go back, I would probably get myself to chill out. And then right here, I'm just gonna go and start adding our little detail. I want every glue to be perfect, so I'm kind of just gonna keep messing with it until I like it. The defining of that line right there was so satisfying. Once I saw that, I was like, oh, it's all coming together. As I was painting this, I was also watching Black Clover, and I had to edit out a bunch of times that I was just not paying attention to the painting because I was watching. So far, really good. Anyways, I really hope that everyone loves this as much as I do. I feel so nervous when I share my art because I feel like it looks good, but like in the way that maybe I've been looking at it too long. Sometimes it does the opposite, where I've been looking at it too long and I now think it looks bad. But yeah, as it all came together though, I genuinely felt proud of this. And then with the sky being this exact color, I think it came together really well. It made a very monochrome look, and it seems really satisfying on the eyes. It's very calming. I debated on a couple different backgrounds to do. The reference I was looking at kind of had like a blurred background, and I did think that would be kind of cool to do, but I think this was just so much better. Of all the attempts that I have ever made of pulling tape off, this was the worst. The tape was just not cooperative at all. But I mean, it did do relatively well considering it's washi tape and not artist tape. But I really struggled with this one. I wanted to make like, those really nice videos where they do the tape peel. But this freaking tape fought me every step of the way. It also kind of took some of the paper, but that's okay. This is just a sketchbook. And then the only step that we have left is to edit and get it ready for prints. So what I did is I took a photo and I put it into Procreate. And I wanted to basically define our line, and really I just wanted to get rid of that middle part. But when you fix one thing and then like because you fixed that, it made it look weird, so you have to fix this other thing. It's very much if you give a mouse a cookie. And then when fixing it, I took too much of the texture, so I tried to kind of add the texture back. Which is just so funny to me because it was a wild ride. Anyways, and then yeah, I went ahead and got it all ready. I added my watermark so that I can post it onto Instagram. And I don't know, I think she looks really good, and I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Thank you.